Good morning, YouTube viewers. This is Enos L. Nickens with the Gateway to Heroes podcast, welcoming you to my inaugural YouTube edition of Big Nick's Picks. This is a weekly feature where I review books that I either pick up from my local comic shop, books that are part of my own personal collection, and if it applies to the subject matter that is discussed, whatever I have in my own home video collection as well. I'll let you know whether to read it or watch it, keep it and collect it, or don't even bother. First book that I'm going to recommend is Captain America Marvel Knights, which collects Captain America 1 through 16, written by John Nee Reber and Chuck Austin, with art by John Cassaday, who we lost last year, Trevor Hairsline, and Jay Lee. Now, this book came out on the heels of right after the attacks on 9/11, and this is arguably one of the most powerful images that you will see from that book. And this was a American citizen who was going to attack a Arab American, and he was going to stab him. Captain America intervenes by taking his shield and blocking the blade. And as you can see, there's Captain America standing in front of the would-be assailant with that ray of sun behind him, showing how Captain America has always been that ray of hope for the country of America. Another recommendation. Now, before I go over these, first and foremost, everything that I'm going to be going over now will fall under the omnibus category. Guys, these things are not cheap. If you have a local comic shop where you can get a discount, or if you can go to Amazon.com and get it for less than the cover price, by all means do so, because these things can range from $75 to $150. And in this economy today, you need to save as much money as you can. So definitely, if you don't get that discount, shop for a deal on Amazon or other sites that sell comics, graphic novels, and hardcovers. First one here that I'm going to go over with you is classic from 1976. This is Captain America, featuring the art of the late great Jack King Kirby. Now, this is also includes the Captain America and his Bicentennial Battles Treasury Edition as well, and keep it and collect it for sure. Because let's face it, can't lose with Jack Kirby. All right, one of the more controversial storylines that came out of comics in the early 2000s was the return of James Buchanan Barnes, aka Bucky, as the Winter Soldier. Now, for decades, Bucky was one of those characters that when he died, he stayed dead. But through the genius of Ed Brubaker, not only did they bring him back, but they brought him back as a completely different character, and he's grown to become one of the more popular characters in the Marvel Universe. Now, this omnibus here by Ed Brubaker, Steve Epting, and Mike Perkins collects the Winter Soldier saga. And that's definitely a keep and collect. Here's the sequel to that book. As you know, after Civil War, Captain America was shot and believed to have been killed, and Bucky, aka the Winter Soldier, under orders from Captain America or at his request, became the new Captain America. This is the collection of Bucky's tenure as Captain America and Steve Rogers' return to take over again as Captain America. Oh yeah, this is a great cover by Alex Ross. Speaking of Alex Ross, here is a great cover featuring the run by the great African American writer Ta-Nehisi Coates, and you have art by Alex Ross and Adam Kubert and Lionel Francis Yu. Let me double check that. Yes, Adam Kubert and Lionel Francis Yu, just to name a few. But the writing was excellent on this, and it's one I highly recommend to anyone who's a Captain America fan. So good jumping on point too. Now, the other books that I would recommend would be Captain America War and Remembrance, which was a great run by Roger Stern and John Byrne, that features Captain America number 250, where where people were trying to get Captain America to run for president, and of course, he declined. Now, as I stated at the beginning of the show, I do, if the subject matter, if it's related to the subject matter, I do show some of my home video pics that are part of my collection. Now, this one was made for me. The first one that I'm going to go over is this is the collection of the 1966 Marvel Superheroes animated series. Now, I didn't like these when I first saw them back in 1988, but as time went on, they grew on me, especially with the Submariner ones. But the Captain America stories on here are magnificent, and they start from World War II up until he's found by the Avengers in present day 1966. So if you don't have these, by all means, go check at your different comic conventions, because there are some vendors who do sell these. Make sure they are the best quality. Now, there's some that I know there was one particular post on Facebook where they had a nice reel of this, and also you can check these out on YouTube. Now, also, no Captain America. If you want to get Captain America films or on home video to fulfill your Captain America fix, we have definitely Captain America, the First Avenger. Chris Evans did a magnificent job playing Captain America, and it's kind of hard to see anybody playing that character now because he did such a great job. Now, right after that, the Avengers, which was the culmination of phase one of the MCU. Captain America, the Winter Soldier, which is my favorite of the three films, because there is a fight between Cap and Batroc the Leaper, who is one of the more underrated members of his Rogues Gallery, who was portrayed excellently by UFC fighter Georges St. Pierre. And after that fight, it's nonstop action from that point on. And of course, Civil War. This was very epic. The storyline and the introduction of Chadwick Boseman as the Black Panther, may he rest in peace, and the culmination of Bucky's storyline and the fight between Captain America and Iron Man is definitely one to be viewed over and over again. Now, also, you can, if you got a Captain America fix, or if you have an Avengers fix, there's 1 through, I think there are four or five volumes of, between 4 to 6 volumes of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. That was on Disney Plus, and also Avengers Assemble, which was also on Disney Plus, which is right on par or even surpasses Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Love the characters on here. The voice acting was great. The art and designs were magnificent, and this is definitely one to have for your collection if you are an Avengers fan. All right. Well, that'll do it for this week's show. Keep in mind to check us out here at our YouTube page, like and subscribe to our Gateway to Heroes podcast. If you have any questions, you can email us at gatewayheroespodcast@gmail.com. And you also can go to Patreon to give us support. And there is a tier that will enable you to select the subject matter for a future podcast show that we will discuss. Until next week, this is Enos L. Nickens signing off, and I'll see you in the funny papers.